What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris, man. We are here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It is Friday, August 8th, 2025. My name is Chris Drummond. I'm a freelance sports reporter based out of upstate New York here and proprietor of this podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder, where I bring individuals on to talk about their why and get to know them outside of their occupation. I got a special guest that's coming on with me today. She is a news producer based out of Corpus Christi, Texas, at KRIS 6 TV news channel. Her name is Mckensi Bryce. And we're going to talk to her about her why of getting into journalism, and we're also going to ask her some get to know you questions. So without any further ado, I introduce to y'all Mckensi. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here.
No doubt. Thank you. Thank you for coming on. No doubt about it. Let's get to the very first question, which is the same question I asked for all my guests here on the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. That is, what is your why? Why do you do what you do? Did you have any role models or any inspirations growing up? But ultimately, what is your why for getting into the journalism industry?
Absolutely. So I know this is a very cliche answer, but I love hearing people's stories. I love being able to know what about a person is so unique to them and their passions and things like that. I am just very passionate about getting to know people and asking them questions and really knowing the true version of someone, whether that be an individual, a group, a project, a whole life or a study. I started journalism when I was younger, watching WFAA. Cynthia Izagirre was my role model growing up. She used to be the morning anchor for WFAA, and then she moved to night side on WFAA. But I just watched her growing up and seeing how fun and passionate and compassionate and caring she was about journalism just made me think about, hey, I could do this for a career. I could do this for my whole livelihood. And that's really why I do it. I do it for the people that are behind me. I do that for the people who are watching. I do that for the people who are I watch on the daily, just like Cynthia Izagirre.
Okay. I love that. Love that answer. Love that why. That's amazing to hear. You went to the University of North Texas, the Mean Green, North Texas is where you went to. I want to know, were there any other schools that you were considering other than going to the University of North Texas?
Absolutely. So I was actually going to go to the University of Texas or Trinity
Hmm.
University in San Antonio.
Hmm.
But overall, I thought that UNT has a wonderful journalism program and they're extremely affordable. I will tell everyone this. They're one of the most affordable public schools. I got my whole school paid for by scholarships and a job I had as a housing ambassador at the University of North Texas. And let me tell
Oh.
you, I only had to pay maybe $100, $200 of tuition every single year because of those
Mm.
jobs, and without it I would not have been able to do the things I have done today just because of the top notch of the quality of the journalism program and the scholarships and the support that you get from your professors and your fellow students. I even work with someone who went to UNT. We graduated at the same time, so that's a very good testament to how amazing the school is. And I'm not an ambassador anymore, but I definitely bleed green. Let's go UNT.
Yeah, absolutely. Mean Green, no doubt about it. Lot of good people that I've talked to on this platform have went to University of North Texas, so that's absolutely wonderful. Now, did you grow up in Texas?
Yes, I did. I'm actually from the
Okay.
Dallas area. I'm
Okay.
from Waxahachie, which is this small town right outside of Dallas, about 30 minutes
Hmm.
south. It's When I was growing up, it was more of a small town, rural area, but it's really kind of just blossomed into a suburbia outside
Hmm.
of Dallas. So I definitely lived in the countryside when I was growing up, and then kind of transferred to like Dallas suburbia life. So that was very interesting growing up. But yes, I am from Dallas.
I love that. And how special is it for you to be working in your hometown state? A lot of people, they have to move out of state, they have to move and start in a different market and then try to come back to their hometown states. But you're still there in Corpus Christi, not in the same city, but in the same state as Texas. How special is that?
And it's honestly very special. I would say it's difficult because the only place I've ever lived is when I went to college, and that was in the DFW area.
Hmm.
So it's been a big adjustment having to move my whole life 6 hours away. And I know that granted, most people will move across state lines across the country
Yeah.
for their first market. So that's
Yep.
something I'm very, very grateful for that I didn't have to do. And at the same time, it's hard because if I want to go home, I have to I have to make the 6 hour trek or do a flight that takes, could possibly take longer than that depending on delays. So
Sure.
it's very interesting to be in this market just because obviously it's a bit small. I believe it's 131. Um, and I love it the same. I really love Corpus Christi. I love the beach. I love the aquarium. I do love living here. Um, and it's a great community for sure, especially for my first market.
I love that. That's awesome. I want to ask you some favorite questions, Mackenzie, and you just give me the 411 off the rip based upon these favorite questions. Okay, so here we go. What is your favorite meal that you like to cook?
Right now, it's been mac and cheese. Mac and cheese all the way with some either grilled or sauteed chicken and some broccoli. Very simple, healthy
Mm,
meal prep, but I love it all the
mm,
same. I've actually been getting these box mac and cheese called Goodles. I don't know if you ever heard of them, but
I
they're
have.
gourmet box mac and cheese, and I get the twisted Parmesan noodles. And let me
Oh,
tell you, they're the best thing. They're the best box mac and cheese I've ever had. Ever. That's probably my favorite meal right now.
right. Okay, now when I pull up to Texas again, I might have to make a stop at Corpus Christi. Girl, you doing your thing up there, Mackenzie. That's what's up. I
Right.
like that. I do. I'm very familiar with Texas. Houston, more so Houston though. That area because my brother lives out there. We have family out there, so I've been there a few times. So yeah, but I like that meal. That meal's a really good meal. I'm a huge taco person, so anytime tacos, whether it's turkey ground, chicken, steak, doesn't matter. I could whip that up pretty good for sure. So yeah, huge into that. Um, Favorite concert you've ever attended?
Ooh, this is a hard one because I've been to several concerts. I'm
Hmm.
actually about to go to one that I think is going to be my favorite concert, but I would say my favorite concert was probably going to this. I like indie bands a lot, and there's this
Okay.
concert called there's this band called Bad Sons that I thoroughly enjoy. They're like indie rock.
Mm,
And something they always do, they always love to crowd surf. So one of them or two of them will just go and crowd surf during a riff
mm,
of a song. Um, and I remember I was maybe in high school the first time I went to their concert, and I remember I had such a big crush on the singer, the lead singer. And I remember I was with my best friend, and he made eye contact with us, and we just freaked out. Like,
wow.
freaked out completely. Even though it was just a small indie band, like, he probably met his fans a bunch of times before. But being maybe 17, I think we were 18, it was just the best feeling to be able to go and see your favorite artist and in a small venue, by the way. I don't know if you've ever been to House of Blues, but House of Blues is this very
Oh
small
yeah.
venue that's
Hmm.
around, yeah, it's around Texas and I believe other locations in the United States. Um, but
Yep.
yeah, it was just something about being young and having just a cute little like celebrity crush, basically. Being with your friends, hearing all the music that you listened to all of high school being performed in front of you is just is amazing feeling.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to Wikipedia that group. I've never heard of Bad Sons before. I've heard of Tame Impala. Tame Impala's a good group. I like them a lot, for sure. So yeah, I can get that down with that. I'm a huge R&B person, so I love R&B.
Oh,
The Weeknd is one of my favorite artists. and that was definitely my favorite concert to go to. Seen him twice, so yeah, I definitely love that. That's for sure. Um, Favorite place you've ever traveled to? Uh-oh, I think we lost Mackenzie. We are live. We are here. I shouldn't say live, but we are here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. All right, we are now back. Technology, you gotta love technology nowadays. My goodness. Mackenzie, we were just doing some favorite things. The third question I wanted to ask you though was, what is your favorite place you've ever traveled to?
100%. I would say Spain.
Hmm,
Absolutely, the north part of Spain. I went to Bilbao on a study abroad trip 2 years ago, and
okay.
I can honestly say it was the most amazing experience I've ever had. The people are so kind, they're welcoming, the food is amazing. I got to eat a lot of pinchos, which was really good. I don't know if you know what those are, but there's like
Mm-mm,
these little
no.
meals, kind of like a sandwich or just a little plate of food that has bread and meat and cheese and vegetables
Wow.
sometimes. Um, it's one of the it's one of the best things. And whenever I didn't know Spanish that much when I was there, um, I would just point to one and say "Este un por favor," which means this one, please. Um,
Right.
and I really enjoyed that. There's a bunch of markets that you can go to. It's a very walkable area. Overall, Spain is completely, most of the time, Spain is completely walkable. Has great ways of public transportation, has amazing nightlife, has incredible music. Um, so yes, I thoroughly enjoyed that. I think it was one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life. I made friends. Um, I got to explore nature. They have a lot of great hiking paths. There is this area, I can't recall what it is anymore. There's this area you can go on a gondola all the way up the mountain for 4 euros, and it takes you to this outlook of the city. And I'm telling you, it is just mountainous and colorful and just the most stunning place I've ever been. Besides Montana, I have been
Okay.
Montana before. That's a close second. But I think just because of the
Okay.
experience that I got socially and physically, definitely Spain was my favorite place to go.
I feel that. I like that a lot. Okay. I would say my favorite place that I've been to US wise is it's probably New Orleans. I went there this past year for the Super Bowl. So I got a chance to cover that. I thought that was amazing. Um, but yes. Hold on real quick for me, okay?
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right, we are back now on the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. I'm here with Mckensi Bryce, once again, news producer of KRIS 6, based in Corpus Christi, Texas. We were just talking about favorite places. I said New Orleans is mine because I went to the Super Bowl in New Orleans um, this past year. Also, Jamaica is one of my favorite places as well because I went to Jamaica on a cruise with my family. That was really, really nice. My dad set that up. I was really happy about that. Um, I'm a sports person, Mackenzie, so this is a two-part question. Favorite sport you like to watch on TV? Favorite sport you like to attend in person? They could be the same sport.
Yeah, I definitely like watching basketball. When I was younger, I used to be a huge Dallas Mavericks fan. I knew all their players. I loved Sean Marion. That was my favorite player. Um,
Hmm.
and just watching basketball. I used to play basketball as well. It's not my favorite sport to play, I should say, but I love watching it. I love the fans. I love the food. I love the camaraderie. Um, Overall, I just love watching Dallas Mavericks because we do have a pretty freaking good team, usually anyway. Um,
Mhm.
and I I just really like the atmosphere of a basketball game. It's super fun. It doesn't get super rowdy like football or hockey can be. It can be
Mhm.
sometimes, but I just do like the atmosphere a lot. My favorite
Mhm.
my favorite sport to play in person would probably be volleyball or tennis. I played both of those for a significant amount of time in middle school and high school. Um, I would say tennis because it's a great workout of your whole body. And it's very hard to play. A lot of people don't think tennis is hard to play, but it's an extremely hard sport to play because of all the
Oh,
technique
no
you have to
question.
have. Um,
Yes.
you have to have a lot of technique when you're playing tennis, and it's very difficult to start out as if you're an older person and you're trying to play tennis, which is why a lot of people play pickleball in turn because it's a lot easier sport to play. But yeah, tennis is an awesome sport, a great, like I said, a great workout. Con though is that you typically have to have someone else to play with you unless you're serving. Um, Whereas volleyball, you don't have to have anyone to play with you. You can play by yourself. You can play with your like by volleying the ball to yourself. You can serve to yourself. Um, so I think that's probably the what differentiates the two for sure.
I'm not sure what's going on with the technology this morning, and my apologies, Mackenzie. My apologies for sure. But we are going to we're going to mosey along. We're just going to work with the technology. Weather is here is good, but I just got a little notation from a service provider that somebody hit a pole. So with that being said, weather's good, but the fact that the service may go in and out. We'll work through it though, Mackenzie, because we'll rock through it,
Okay.
okay? So, no doubt about that. But you were talking about tennis and volleyball. The sports is your favorite to play. You said basketball is your favorite to watch. That is amazing. Uh, my follow-up question to that is, what did you think about the Luka Doncic trade?
I was, in Gen Z terms, crying, screaming, and throwing up. I was heartbroken and mad and angry and upset and
All the
betrayed. I
above.
felt betrayed because he was such a vital part. He was such a vital part of our team, and
Right.
so we thought that he was so loyal, and for him to just be turned away like that was just heartbreaking. Was just it was it was awful, honestly.
No, I feel it. I feel it in your voice, Mackenzie. I do. I hear it in your voice for sure. Now I'm a Lakers fan because I grew up in California. I grew up in San Diego, California. So I'm a Lakers fan for sure. But um, I definitely felt for Dallas when they because I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked when they traded. Anthony Davis for Luka Doncic. I never thought that would happen, but I do think Dallas has a pretty good team. I mean, with Kyrie Irving, yes, he's out for a little bit because of his torn Achilles, but Davis is there, Clay is there. Um, they still have Gafford, still have the lively kid. Dallas is going to be a solid team for sure. Now, obviously, the West is loaded with a lot of good teams, and including the defending champions, which is Oklahoma City Thunder. So it should be an interesting basketball season. I cannot wait for that schedule to drop. I know it's probably going to drop very soon, with it being August and September being preseason. So I'm looking forward to that for sure. But you said the sport that's my favorite, which is basketball. I'm a huge basketball person, love basketball, love watching it in person. And football, I love watching on TV. So that's what I say. Um, Last of the favorites. Okay. Favorite place that you like to eat out at?
This is a good question
Okay.
because overall, my favorite place I like to eat out at is this place in Waxahachie. It is a sushi restaurant called Ohana. It's a
Okay.
Japanese fusion place. I get something different every single time I go because I just trust it completely. I'm not usually like that
Mhm.
as I am pretty picky about what I like to eat at restaurants. I typically get the same thing. Um, but I really thoroughly enjoy their food because it is just amazing. The sushi's incredible. The service is incredible. It is a hometown favorite for sure, and I will die on that hill.
Yeah, fun fact here, I have never tried sushi. Never. I've never had sushi in my life. Yeah, I know your face is judgmental, Mackenzie, but that's okay. I love it. It doesn't matter. But that's all right. I've never had sushi before, and now not to say I won't, but the reason why primarily is because is you can either eat it raw or cooked, and I don't know which one to try first, to be honest with you.
Okay. Honestly, you should definitely try cooked first because raw, if you try raw first, it will freak you out and you don't want to ever try it ever again. That's what most people say. I tried cooked sushi first and I really liked it. It was able to satisfy my palate without grossing me out. And then I
Hmm.
moved on to raw whenever I was comfortable and more experienced with it. And then I enjoyed raw sushi as well. But not everyone has that experience. So I would definitely recommend trying cooked first. And then once you get used to that feeling, go to the raw sushi.
Okay. I got you on that. I feel you on that. I'm more of a two-piece and a biscuit kind of guy. That's just what I like to do. I like to do that, but at the same time, you got to expand your horizons a little bit. So you say go to cook sushi. I'm with that. All right. Um, this next question has to do with your day to day. All right. As people in journalism, no 2 days are never the same. All of our days are different. You're producing different shows, different content. As journalists, we're writing different things, interviewing different people. That's just what we do. We love what we do because of that. Because it brings a mystery of unknown. You never know what you're stepping into day in and day out. Because you're doing something fun and exciting, right? So tell me, as a producer behind the scenes, what shows, the time frame do you produce? What time of the day do you work? Are you a nighttime person, early morning person? Are you just a morning person? What is your day to day to get yourself ready to go in and produce some news?
Absolutely. So on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I produce the 5 p.m. show, which means I wake up around 7:30, sometimes 8 if I'm running late, which I usually am, um, to get to work around 9. Actually, I usually get there around 8:45 to be in the
Okay.
editorial meeting by 9.
Okay.
Then I am able to see what stories are there for the day, put them together on my newscast, and able to successfully put together a newscast for the 5 p.m. show on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Now on weekends, I produce all shows on weekends. We have a very light staff on
Okay.
weekends, so for weekends, on Saturdays, I produce the 6, 9, and 10 p.m. On Sundays, I produce the 5, 9, and 10 p.m. Um, and to answer your question, I'm a pretty much, I try to be a morning person. Recently, with some new adjustments, I have not been able to fulfill that desire of being a morning person. Unfortunately, as I wake up super late to be able to get to work at 8:45, I wake up around 8 or sometimes a little bit earlier. So that's something I'm still working on.
Sure.
However,
Sure.
yeah, so um, yeah, Monday and Tuesday. I used to work nights actually, and that was a very interesting shift. I really enjoyed the people I worked with. However, the hours were just unbearable. I really
Mm,
truly did not like working nights because I do not like being awake when everyone else is asleep. It is not my mojo. Some
I
people
feel that.
like it. Yeah, I do not like it. I'd much rather be awake when the sun is and go to sleep when the sun's down. I am just a sun person.
Sure.
I'm not a night person at all.
Okay. No, I'm with you on that. I totally with you on that. Now, you said something interesting. You said you come into the morning around 8:45, 9 a.m. to produce the 5 p.m. show. So that's an 8 hour gap. That's and then but on the weekends you do the same thing, but you produce the 6, 9, and 10 show, if I'm not mistaken, that you said. How many hours do you normally work a day to be able to do that?
So I work 8 hours a day,
Mhm.
5 days a week. So
Mm.
on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I come in at 9 and I have all day to produce the 5 p.m. show. After
Wow.
the 5 p.m. airs, I booth the 5 p.m. show. It airs and then I can go home afterwards. I write my discrepancies and then I can go home. For the weekend shows, I work 12 o'clock, so I work noon to 8 p.m. or noon to 9, depending on if I want to take a break.
Sure.
And that way I can have at least a couple hours to produce those shows, and then go home at a decent time.
Okay. Okay. I like that. I like the better understanding of that. That's awesome. You know, it's a great segue though, because I want to talk about mental health and work life balance. This is the question that um, definitely needs to be asked because most journalists go through it. I mean, it happens in every profession. Don't get me wrong, but we're in the journalism profession, and most people step away because their mental health is affected. Most people step away because of mental health breakdowns or work life balance. Right? You just talked about. You're 6 hours away from your family. And there's people that's even further than that have to move out of states and stuff like that and do that, and they just don't have the time to be able to, incorporate stuff like that. You miss out on celebrations and family outings and holidays with the family because news never stops, right? News is every single day. So it's hard to get that vacation in when you're in journalism. Talk to me about how you keep your mental health strong, but also still have that work life balance, because you seem like a wonderful lady to be around. I certainly wouldn't mind being around you. You seem like you're totally fun, but you also seem like you're very dedicated to your job as well.
Absolutely. So, something that I really have to do, especially that I work weekends and I'm off weekdays, I genuinely treat my days off like a vacation. I genuinely treat it off like I am on vacation because everyone else is working when I am off. So I
Yep.
either do two things. I either make a day out of it. I go to the aquarium. I'll go to the beach by myself. Or with friends if I have friends that are off coincidentally, which usually doesn't happen.
Sure.
Um, I go to the beach. I love going to the aquarium. Like I said, the aquarium is my happy place. It's very therapeutic for me to just take a day trip to go to the aquarium, be there for a couple hours, see the animals, be outside with
Mm,
myself, and just
mm,
experience wonder. Like I love that because there's little kids, who go to the aquarium, and I guarantee you, I am just as amazed as they are at the animals. I really am,
right.
because it's my favorite place to go. I also really like to read. That reading is very therapeutic for me. I really like to sit down with a good book, especially at the end of a stressful day, and just kind of escape from reality. I really enjoy doing that. I really enjoy taking walks and playing tennis, and getting my body moving is just something that's really important to me, to be able to function as a normal human being. I would say when I was working nights, I was not taking care of myself. I wasn't exercising, I wasn't reading, I wasn't doing the things I really loved because I didn't have time to. I didn't dedicate myself. I did not have work-life balance back then. But since I work on days, I have a much better understanding of my roles and duties at work and my roles and duties outside of work. Um, so yeah, main things is going to the aquarium because I have a membership. I don't. It's expensive, so I do have a membership there, which is really nice. Um, I go to the aquarium, I read, I exercise, I do stretches. I love stretching before bed. It is just something that deeply relaxes me and allows me to get ready for resting as well.
Okay, I like that. That's pretty cool, pretty awesome. Um, like I said, it's a question that's worth asking because a lot of people go through it. You obviously take your off time very seriously, and that's what you got to do. You got to be able to utilize your time, and you seem like you utilize your 2 days off and do the max with it. And I love hearing that. But it brings up another great segue, which is advice. There's people that come to the station as interns, and there's people that have recently graduated college and stuff like that. Talk to me about what kind of advice would you give an individual that wants to be in the journalism industry?
Absolutely. So I would tell them, make sure that you are being treated right, for sure, because I
Mm,
think a lot of people get the expectation or the notion that having an unpaid internship is just work and just experience. And I really am against unpaid internships because you're doing the same work that everyone else is doing but volunteer. And honestly, I think that's a bit exploitative. So I would say probably avoid places that do those kind of internships, or at least say, talk to them and say, if you really want to work there, hey, like, can I get a compromise? Because it's so important to be able to get paid for your work, no matter what you're doing. Obviously, there's work labeled as volunteer work, such as going to the shelter or volunteering at a local garden or
right.
anything else of the kind. But I really truly believe it's so important to get paid, especially as a young, up and coming journalist. And I'm so grateful that I was able to get a very good internship. I interned at Baylor Scott and White when I was a junior in college, and it was
Okay.
the best experience I've ever had as an intern. I got $15 an hour, which is a pretty darn good starting point for a an hourly intern, which I'm very
Right.
grateful for. I really do think that should be the norm to be able to do paid internships. But yeah, like I said, my advice is just to tell them, like, keep searching for the thing that you want. You will find it. You may not find it right away. I didn't find it right away. It took me 6 months to get a job out of college.
Right.
Um, but yeah, so I think it's really important that you search for what you're looking for, a paid internship or something that's paid, um, and keep looking for what you want. You're allowed to be picky. You're so allowed to be picky whenever you're looking for your passion project. And I wish that more people would know that.
No, I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, a lot of people say, you just want to say yes and try to get the experience. And, everybody's situation is different. Some people can't do unpaid internships because of their situations. You're trying to look for something where you can get experience, but you want to get paid for doing your work too because, free labor is volunteer work.
Hmm.
And volunteer work is great to do, but if you got things that you need to, pay and do and, other responsibilities that take precedent over what an internship is, then you got to maximize what your opportunities are with the internship. So I'm glad that you said that. I also tell people that you have to try everything, especially in the world of journalism. try everything. Try stuff that you traditionally wouldn't try. Writing, directing, producing, anchoring, reporting, radio, all the above. Just try it because you'll see what you like, see what you don't like, and then after that, you can go from there and make a decisive decision. But I really love the fact that you said about the paid internships because there used to be a huge argument about that, especially over the social media airways where, oh man, you must be ungrateful because all you trying to look for is to get paid. No, it's not trying to be ungrateful. But you can't measure one person's situation over another. There's some people that are blessed out here that can do unpaid internships and not be affected by it. But the majority of students that I know that I've met, yeah, they definitely need to get paid because college students ain't making nearly as much.
Absolutely. I totally understand. I totally agree with that because it's so important, especially like I said, I feel like it's exploitative for kids who are not able to afford either college or expenses to make them be unpaid. I really do think it benefits wealthy students for unpaid internships. Like, for example, I have a friend who grew up very privileged and wealthy, and she worked for the Eagles for an unpaid internship for the whole year. And
Mm,
I personally, I could never have worked an unpaid internship. I would be under. I would not have been able to afford college
right,
expenses and
right,
uh, and living expenses if I were to have had an unpaid internship. So I just think
right.
it's really important to value um, getting paid. And you're so right. Like it's so important to try everything. Obviously, I said being picky, but I mean being picky about being paid and unpaid. I would say you're right. Like try everything because you don't really know what you want until you find it. Um, so it's really, I think it's just really vital to try new things, especially when you're young, especially when you're open to the market, when you're just trying to find an internship or an entry level job.
I like that. That's great advice. Well said on that, Mackenzie. Now we have reached the portion of the podcast, though, that we're going to play my interactive game called This or That. So basically, it's a game I like to play with all my guests here on the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast, and it's pretty simple. I'm going to throw some things at you, and you get to choose this or that. So, Mackenzie, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Out of these two restaurants, which restaurant would you rather eat at if you had to? KFC or Popeyes?
Popeyes.
Girl, you on point like a period right now. Okay, I like that. I like that. You shining like a diamond, like Riri. All right, here we go. We gonna see if we can keep it up though. All right. Chicken wings. When it comes to chicken wing flavors, which one are you putting on the wing? Barbecue or lemon pepper?
Lemon pepper.
Okay. Do you like your wings wet or dry?
Wet.
Okay. Do you like your wings bone in or boneless?
I'm gonna say bone in.
So you like to get a little messy, Mackenzie. That's what I'm hearing. Okay. Get a wet wipe and go to work, girl. You the kind of friend I need. I like that. That's what's up, girl. Don't worry about nothing. I like that. Okay. We doing pretty good so far. Let's keep this thing rolling. The next 5 questions that I ask you are going to be about concerts that you rather attend. So, here we go. Which concert would you rather attend? Kendrick Lamar or Drake?
Kendrick Lamar all the way.
Okay. All right. K Dot. I'm with you on that. Which music concert would you rather go to? Would you rather go see Chris Brown or Usher?
Usher.
Okay, okay, I'm rocking with you so far. Which music concert would you rather go to? Beyonce or Rihanna?
Oh, this is a tough one. Oh my gosh. I
Mhm.
think I'm gonna say Beyonce. Beyonce, yeah.
Okay, okay. That was a little tough though, 'cause you put the hand on the head. So I knew that was a little tough for you. Okay, all right. They're only gonna get tougher. Which music concert would you rather go see? Pink or Taylor Swift?
Pink.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Now, last one. Which music concert would you rather go see? Would you rather go see Jelly Roll or Post Malone?
Oh my goodness.
You put the hand on the head again, so it must
Um,
be a tough one.
I'm gonna say Post Malone, but I'm gonna say it because of the experience, the concert experience. I think that would be crazier. But I
Hmm.
do enjoy Jelly Roll. I really do
Of course.
enjoy Jelly Roll.
Of course, absolutely. And I've seen Posty live. Posty is definitely a vibe, is definitely great. He's amazing, no question about it. Did pretty good on the music. Let's see if we can keep it going. Which sport would you rather watch on TV? Football or baseball?
Football.
Okay. You let out a deep sigh on that one. Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. I do enjoy baseball. However, I would like to watch that. I would like see. I like watching baseball in person and football on TV.
Okay. That sounds
So
good.
I would
That sounds
still,
good.
I would, yeah. So I would still say football.
Okay. I'm with you on that. Which sport would you rather play? Badminton or bowling?
Badminton because I feel like I'd be better at it since I'm a tennis player.
Okay. Now, does that say that you are very bad at bowling?
No, I'm okay at bowling. Honestly, I just I get really competitive when I lose. I get really butthurt. I
Okay.
feel like I'm a
Okay.
sore loser.
And listen, you know your lane, Mckensi, and you stay in it. I'm totally with you on that. Listen, everybody gets hurt when they lose. Nobody wants to lose. So I totally understand that. I want you on
Absolutely.
my team. I would want you on my team, girl, fighting. That's what I like. I like those kind of people. Okay. Do you like desserts?
I love desserts.
Okay. So I'm going to name four categories of desserts. You have to choose one of these that you'll never eat again. So here we go. The first category is group together. So there's cake/pies. The next category is ice cream. The third category is candy. The last category is cookies. Which one are you choosing to get rid of?
Cake/pies. I've never been a fan of either, honestly. So that's an
Okay.
easy one.
Okay. Now, what is your favorite cookie?
My favorite cookie?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would honestly have to go with chocolate chip, the old school chocolate chip cookie.
Definitely a classic, definitely a good one. Just to be a little different, I would say, give me gingerbread. Give me a warm gingerbread
Ooh.
cookie. That's for sure. I definitely love that. Okay. Now, do you like potato chips?
I do like potato chips.
Okay, so this is the same format. I'm going to name four brands. You have to choose one of these brands that you'll never eat again. So here we go. The first brand is going to be Doritos. The next brand is Pringles. The next brand is Ruffles. The last brand is Lay's. Which one are you getting rid of?
Lay's. I
Wow.
hate to do it because
I
it's a
love it.
classic,
I
but
love it.
I just like the other ones better, honestly.
Okay. Now, you don't have to choose from the other three, but what is your favorite potato chip?
I want to see the cheddar ruffles for sure.
Girl, you damn it, Mckensi, where have you been? You've been on point, girl, all the interview. I love me some cheddar ruffles. I love me some cheddar and sour cream ruffles. That's my favorite actually chip. That's my favorite chip. For sure. I
Absolutely.
love it. That's amazing. You've been on point. I like that. And you did very good on the this or that. Probably one of the best this or that's on this podcast platform. And I've done over 300 episodes. So I'm definitely giving you that for sure. No question. Okay. This next one here, question is called bucket list. I want you to give me a top four bucket list of events or stories that you would like to do in your journalism career that you haven't done yet.
Absolutely. This is gonna sound kind of crazy.
Hmm.
But I would always have loved to, if I was a journalist during the pandemic, I think I would have loved it. I love covering health related issues, so I want
Okay.
to cover the next outbreak. I really do want to cover the next outbreak because I don't know when it's going to happen. There will be another pandemic soon. I don't know what it's going to be, but I would really like to cover one of those. So
Okay.
that's a big one. Um, and then I would like to be able to go to a presidential rally and interview perhaps the campaign manager, even either the person running. I've never been able to do that.
Okay.
I really enjoy local politics. I like covering local politics, but I've never been able to do state or national politics. So that level, number two for sure would be that. Um,
Okay.
and then number three, I love covering events. I've never covered a so there's people who come to Corpus Christi often or not often like bigger artists like Jelly Roll came to Corpus Christi, Brooks and Dunn
Okay.
came to Corpus Christi,
Okay.
and a few other artists. So I would love to cover an artist. I would love to even talk to, like I said, if we covered Brooks and Dunn coming to Corpus Christi, I would have gone to heaven because they're my one of
Wow.
my favorite artists. I love
Okay. Brooks and
we have
Dunn.
yeah, we have a lot of good country artists that come to Corpus Christi. Like I said, not often. So that's number three. And then number four would probably just be able to I love stories about animals, and going to the shelter, or a kind of a some summary story about all the shelter animals and how you can adopt. I just love learning about animals. I love petting animals, whether it be dogs or cats. I used to volunteer at a local shelter when I was in college, and I
Yeah.
would go out and walk the dogs. And that was my favorite thing to do. I absolutely loved that. So being able to cover a story that has to do with shelter pets and just being able to be there all day and just playing with the cats or playing with the dogs would be something that I really wanted to do. Although not a crazy ideal bucket list idea, it's just something I would really like to cover one day.
Okay. Okay, I can respect that. I love those events. Obviously, I love asking that question because you get all different kinds of answers. But that's what we're doing. We're speaking that into existence of what you want to do with your top four bucket list of events that you would like to cover. That'd be amazing. Um, do you have any desire going in front of the camera, Mackenzie?
Not particularly, honestly. I would say because number one, I have a more indie, edgy look. I know that sounds silly, but I have a septum piercing. I have a bunch of piercings. I have tattoos. I have a more mullet hairstyle. So I really don't feel that I fit the traditional on-camera appearance. So that's something I don't really desire in that form. Um, However, I would love to do digital videos. I love doing reels talking about different resources that people have, whether it's health resources or resources for their pets, or where they can go to get food on a food pantry, things like that. I love making little videos, just with my little microphone and being like, hey guys, it's Mckensi Bryce here with Chris Six. So I love doing those kind of videos. But overall, in a newsroom setting, I do not have any desire to be on the camera. I genuinely just like controlling behind the scenes. It is my mojo, it is my way of life. I do not have a desire to be an MMJ or any anchor or anything like that.
I can feel that. I definitely do. There's a lot of producers that feel the same sentiment as you. There are some that definitely do want to be in front of the camera, but to each his own. I love asking that question for sure. Is there any, uh, well, not there, is there any? Let me ask this. What advice has someone gave you, right? We talked about advice you would give, but what is some advice that someone gave you that you hold on dearly to?
Yeah, so when I was in the throes of finding a job, whenever I was in post college, so the six
Hmm.
months after college, I could not find a job that it was in my field. I just couldn't find a job. I was applying every single day and nothing was coming up. And I remember my mom sitting me down because I was just so depressed. I was so anxious. I was so angry that I couldn't find anything what I was promised, or at least what I thought was promised for me, because I have a degree, I have a great GPA, I have a lot of experience in my field as far as internship experience, and I was so upset. And I remember my mom sitting me down and saying, "You'll find it, Kinsey. You'll find the one you want. You will find something." And something as simple as that, I hold on to me. I hold on to myself. Because whenever I am in a bad spot, or whenever I am at a low point, I always think about what my mom said, is you'll find
Right.
something. You'll find a
Right.
way. And there's always a way. You'll always make it out. You'll always get there. There's always going to be dry spot on the other side of a thunderstorm. There's always going to be a rainbow at the end
Mm.
of a storm. There's
Right.
always going to be a way out. There's always going to be a way. And that's what I have to remember every single time I'm in a low spot. There's always going to be a way.
I love that. I really do. And shout out to your mom. Shout out to Mrs. Bryce for sure for giving you that wonderful advice. No question about it. I'm gonna get you out of here on these last two, and one of them, well, I should say last three, because a bonus question came up in my mind, and that's dealing with hard news stories. How do you personally deal with hard news stories? Do you take it home with you, or do you just try to leave it at the station? Is it different? From when you first started to now, like, how do you deal with hard news stories?
Absolutely. So I typically try to leave it at work unless it directly impacts my constituents or my friends or my family. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so, for example, we've had a couple of incidents at in Corpus Christi where someone shot someone at a party or at an event, and that can be really hard because I think about like my safety, and I think about my friend and my friend's safety that are here. Um, and at the same time, you really can't take it home with you if you want to be able to live a a less stressful life, because if I'm thinking about those events all the time, that I have to deal with every single day, I would be stressed to the max. I really would. And so at some point, you have to leave these things at work. You have to leave these things aside in order for you to be a productive human being. Because if you don't, you will just be thinking about it. It will eat you alive if you don't think about trying to separate your work from your job. And it is hard, honestly. It's hard because sometimes my work and my job bleed into each other when they don't want to. When there's a big national event happening that affects all of us, I have to think about that for my job and in my daily life. Um, but that's probably how I handle it. I handle it with grace, I handle it with patience, and I handle it with care.
Okay. I like that. I do. I like that answer. I definitely like asking the question because, kids, and I shouldn't say kids, but just, incoming people to this industry have to deal with hard news stories that do news. And it's difficult at times. It's one of the reasons why I kind of shied away from news and went to sports. And not to say sports don't have hard news stories, but, in sports, there's a winner, there's a loser in games. You have a 50% chance to win, 50% chance to lose. You don't expect in news that a house will burn down, you'll get shot, or lose a loved one when you step out, right? You don't know that it can happen to you, and you know it can happen to you anytime, but you don't expect it. That's what I'm saying. And when you see stories like that, it's just tough to stick microphones. It's tough to stick microphones in loved ones' faces and try to get them to tell their story. It's tough to produce at times as well, because you do see some very tragic things in this industry. Um, but we have to talk about that because you have to encompass it all. You have to know the good, which is the cookie cutter story, the soft stories that make you feel warm and fuzzy inside, but you got to know that the other side too. And that's where I think a lot of times, Mckensi, people get a misconception of this industry is that, man, you must be making a lot of money. You're working at a TV station. You must be wealthy. And that's not the case. The case is we do this because we really love this with a passion. And that's what you have to do. You got to do this for a passion because they don't pay you a lot of money to start off at all. You know that. I know that for sure. But at the same time, you're only going to see the final product if you're watching from the outside. Only people that have a journalistic type of background and schedule understand what a journalist goes through. People that's on the outside, they see, wow, the 6, 9, and 10 p.m., the shows that you produce, all they see is those handsome people on or beautiful people on screen. That's all they see. And their live shots and their anchoring. But it goes there's a lot more behind the scenes that happens that people don't know. And that's why I made this platform to be able to talk to media people so that they can tell their story and they can learn and understand what all different kind of stations go through.
Absolutely. And I think it's very interesting because you're right. Like, a lot of people don't know what my day to day is. A lot of people don't know how much I make. A lot of people, you're right, assume that I'm extremely wealthy or make amazing money because I work at a TV station. I will say I do have a middle salary, so I'm not making extremely low, but I'm not making a lot either, which is nice. I would say it's not a comfortable salary. It's a livable salary for sure, but it's definitely
Sure.
not comfortable. And especially
Right.
starting out at an entry level, you're gonna get that, and it's hard to find places where you can live above the means. And I'm very grateful to have a job that does pay entry level well. Um, and I can say a lot of other places don't do that. I got offered in Oklahoma City something that I'm making 15,000 less than I'm making right now. And that
Wow.
was very interesting to see how low salaries are. And even in a big market like Oklahoma City, I was making that little. I would be making that little, and it just makes me grateful for the job I have here. And able to, I even got a raise this year. I'll be at $1,000 raise, but I did get a raise this year, a
Wow.
guaranteed raise, which was really nice. Um, so yeah, I'm just having to kind of roll with the punches on that end and see and kind of conduce what is the next steps for me as far as being a producer or going outside this field um, in order to make more money, because I know a lot of people don't like this saying, but I do go where the money goes, because overall I would like to live a comfortable life. I would like to be able
Yeah.
to afford trips and
Yes.
things I want. um, so I do go where the money goes, and if that means I'm moving to San Diego, California, or right back to Dallas, Texas, I'll do that, because overall I
As
want to
you should.
support. I have three cats. I have three cats, so I want to support them. I want to support them and my livelihood overall.
Yeah, as you should. You should definitely go where the money goes. That's a very smart decision, right? And you have to make business decisions in this company. And one of the things I will say before I get to, the rapid fire is that when you guys do make your decisions, eventually whoever watches this, understand that, this is a privilege, no doubt about it, to do what we love to do. But you are working for a company. You have to make the best decision for you. You can't worry about what the company is going to do because the company can replace you. That's any company. Any company, if you leave that company, doesn't matter if you working at a TV station or you're working at a grocery store. That grocery store will continue to run. That company will continue to run. You got to make the best decision for you financially, emotionally, spiritually, physically, all the above. And sometimes they're tough decisions to make. So you have to be able to do that. Don't just stay in a place just because, or don't just renew a contract just because. Once your contract is up, it's negotiation time. And if you are not feeling like you're getting what you're worth, it's time to hasta la vista. So you just have to do that. You got to make the best decision for you. And I say that to segue to the rapid fire questions, and I'm gonna get you out of here on here. And my rapid fire questions are pretty much I'm going to say some stuff and you shout out the first thing in your mind. You shout it out with glee. Okay, Mckensi? So here we go. Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Chicken or ribs?
Chicken.
Juice or soda?
Juice.
You sure?
No. No, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll say
I'm sorry.
I don't know.
The way you said that, the way you said juice, I'm sorry, it just cracked me up. You was like juice. It was like, wow. Okay, maybe you don't drink either. Okay, that's what's up. Um, Here we go. Favorite Netflix TV show?
BoJack Horseman.
Okay. Favorite board game?
Monopoly.
Okay. Favorite card game?
Rummy.
Mm. Favorite alcoholic drink?
So it's funny enough, there are these things called funny waters that have literally like 3% alcohol in it, but I do not like alcohol. I don't like hard liquor. And so they're perfect for me because they literally just taste like flavored water and it gives you a buzz and it's just a nice drink without going overboard. So definitely funny waters. I had to explain that because a lot of people don't know what those are, but definitely funny
Including
waters.
myself. I damn sure don't know what the hell Funny Waters was. I was like, Funny Waters? I've never heard of that. But I appreciate you breaking that down. Okay. That's what's up. Favorite sandwich?
Probably a chicken parmesan sandwich.
Okay. Yeah, those are pretty good. Favorite color?
Green.
If you had a choice to bring 3 people with you on vacation, where would you go and who are those 3 people? Now, before you choose, Mckensi, you could choose family, friends, or celebrities.
Okay. I would definitely go to Scotland. I really want to see the beauty of Scotland.
Okay.
I would bring um I would bring my best friend Gabby. I
Okay.
would bring see, I don't really have any celebrity crushes or anyone who I'd want to so I'm just going to choose family. Probably Gabby, my brother, and then my dad.
Okay. That's pretty awesome. I like that. All right. If you had a choice to listen to 3 songs or 3 artists on repeat and never get tired of them, who would those 3 artists or 3 songs be?
Chaperone, Bad Sons, and Brooks and Dunn.
Wow, that was the quickest answer probably on that ever. That's what's up. I like that. Who is Chaperone?
Chaperone. You don't know who Chaperone
Chaperone.
is?
No,
That's
no.
crazy. She's
Mm-mm.
okay, she's like a worldwide superstar. She came out with a few singles recently. I don't know if you heard the song Good Luck Babe or Red Wine Supernova. She's a very popular artist with Gen Z people, which is probably why I really love her.
Okay.
She's a very poppy like indie artist.
Got you. Say less. Okay, got you. All right. This last rapid fire question. If they came to you, Mckensi, and said, you do a great job of producing, but we no longer want you to do the genre of news, you're going to have to pick a different genre. And these are the 3 that you could choose from: travel, entertainment, or sports. Which one are you choosing?
Travel for sure.
Okay. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. That is amazing. And so has this conversation. This conversation with you has been absolutely amazing. I think you're wonderful. I'm not breaking any news because I think everybody who has met you, including your best friend Gabby, shout out to Gabby, I think she would think that you're wonderful as well. It's amazing that obviously you're still in your home state doing what you love to do. You went to the University of North Texas, growing up in Texas, and you gave great perspective on what you do and who you are, and also gave great advice. I really do appreciate you again allocating your time to be on the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast on your day off here. And my final question to you is that is there any other things that you would like to say or add about yourself, the job, or anything at all before we conclude?
I would just say if you're looking for a job right now, just keep going. You'll find something. You really will. You're going to find something that you love. You're going to find something that you're passionate about. Just keep searching, just keep applying, and you will find the one. It's just going to take time.
I appreciate you saying that. I appreciate that encouragement. And again, I want you to enjoy the rest of your day off today and also enjoy your Monday, starting off on Saturday as well. Okay. You take care. You and I will be in touch.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Me too.